Hello everyone, this is Kathleen and I'm here to share this pretty eclectic junk journal with you today. We're finished with this Stylewise Eclectic series and I have both this journal and this journal to share today. So depending on which video YouTube shows you first, there is the other one publishing the same day. So if you see this one first, then be sure to check the description box for the link to the other video and see the flip through of that one as well. They both will be listed on Etsy today. So thanks for joining me. And I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. Gosh, I just really like it. So I have used, as I mentioned, this recycled Reader's Digest book. It's pretty vintage, and so I needed to replace the spine, which I did with this, just this rounded cardboard spine covered with this pretty kind of moss green vintage fabric, upholstery fabric. And I've just created this pretty collage here on the cover and done my usual beaded and elastic closure, this vintage button. So let's go in and see how it looks. Gosh, I like how it's turned out. This journal has 158 pages, so it's pretty chunky, and 3 signatures. There's 36 pockets and tucks and 40 pieces of ephemera. So it is kind of on the edge of being a gator mouth, kind of stuffed, and so I couldn't stuff all the pockets, but you'll be able to do that if you're interested in acquiring the journal. So this is a pretty postcard, vintage, and I've just done some embossing there. And it's another little piece of ephemera tucked in here. A recipe page, a music page. Here's that pretty vintage wrapping paper that I've made into a pocket, and one of those recipe cards. I want to thank Linda Nelson again from Linda's Paperworks here on Etsy for this wonderful gift of a Happy Mail that she sent. Here's a recipe card, and tucked that into this little envelope peekaboo pocket. And here's the envelope on this side with this kind of retro journaling paper I made from some book page. Here's a little bit of vintage paper just slid behind that. Some handmade paper and some postage stamps along with these gold stamps, not green stamps, gold stamps. Here's the game card, and this is a Raleigh, a dealer for spices, and interesting. Here's one of those pretty papers. I made a pocket. Here's the blue chip trading stamps with just some ephemera pieces. And this is a double. So there's a tuck here and then a tuck behind, and a stamp from it's an African camel. I don't know where it's from, somewhere in Africa. Here's some of that money and a vintage postcard, 1939. This is a double tuck here. Tuck on both sides here, and a greeting card. Flashcard and a green score sheet. So lots of fun vintage and retro ephemera. I just looked for the best stuff I could find in my stash. Here's that napkin that I've used on a guest check. Make a flip, and a bunch of tickets on this side. It's a paint chip and just a Project Life card hanging around in my stash. Here's another pocket. Here's that needle crewel wool, just a tag. And again, I didn't put the ribbon on it because it just couldn't hold anymore. This is that pretty get well card. Yeah, I love these, really. And opens all the way up for all that journaling space. And just clips on here. Here's the other side of that wrapping paper and TWA. Gosh, who remembers TWA? Oh my gosh. When I was a little girl, I just thought the stewardesses on airplanes were just so elegant. Score sheet. It's just a little top tuck that I made with that pretty reading card. And an Arizona postcard. Here's some little blue chip stamps that I've just embellished that bottom pocket with. And this is another kind of little note paper that came in the Happy Mail. And a little coupon for a fresh peach sundae. Wouldn't that be good? Some Edith Holden page, vintage magazine. Here is our little hidden pocket tag in this journal. Hidden journaling. And just some pieces of ephemera that fit down in there, and then this just clips on the side of this pretty wallpaper. Linda told me that I don't know if it's this wallpaper or this wallpaper, but one of these wallpapers was in the kitchen of her mother-in-law, I guess, or maybe the grandmother. Anyway, he had wallpapered for his wife and all the way to the ceiling. Holy cow. I can't imagine trying to wallpaper a ceiling, but apparently he did. And I'm just as pleased as punch to have a piece of that in this journal. Here is this pocket. Another little vintage page here in the center, and some avocado dyed paper. Here's the other side of that wallpaper. A little calendar page, and I have just this little metal brad. Here is a little cluster on this belly band, and just a digital print of some pretty papers. Reminds me of a quilt. Many of these little papers have been in my stash for a long time. Here is, I think, some really pretty wallpaper wash or butterfly washi tape. Yeah. So I have taken this note paper and just kind of glued it along here to make a pocket on this side for just a tag. And these colors just are very evocative to me of, you know, the 1960s and 70s. Yeah, with this golden green. I grew up in a house that was golden green. Here's our double tuck here with a pocket there and a tuck here. The prints that I've blended here with these different colors. And the little button card. Here's the other wallpaper that came in the Happy Mail and just a card. Jelly print. So many of these things have just been hanging around in my stash, waiting for an eclectic journal. Just a book page. Here is Linda's cute little envelope and pocket, and a vintage playing card, just a little ice ticket, and just some jelly printing there, some smishing. This was in the Happy Mail, and I've just put it here as an embellishment for that side pocket. Some washi tape. Here is the other of the things to do, and this is the handkerchief. I told you it would be in there. So what I've done is I've attached it to this, just this paper, so that it becomes a journaling tag. And yeah, that's how I utilized that hanky. And I have actually saved most of it that I will use in another, a little more purple colored book. I just thought this paper was pretty and the colors matched. So it's just a journal paper and a little vintage recipe of some kind for a drink, I think. Pineapple. Yeah, I think it's for punch. On this side, there's a little tuck here and a little tuck here. This is just a vintage paint chip. Here is our other stencil pocket, and just some note paper to provide some contrast. The other side of the magazine page, the recipe page, and that pretty scrapbooking paper, some washi tape, here's the last pocket on this last page, and I've just matched those colors with those journaling cards. Pretty, isn't it? Here's the end. Thanks so much for being with me, and I will refer you to the description box for a link. This will be listed on Etsy along with this journal. And so if you saw this video first, then be sure to look for the link for the flip through of this journal, and they'll both be on Etsy. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again with a new video.